It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Happy Tuesday. Almost said Monday morning. I'm here with Fletcher.
It's a Tuesday that feels like a Monday.
That's exactly what it is. And, of course, Ryder.
We'll take that flimsy, flaccid feeling and turn it into a rock-solid experience that's guaranteed to petrify your senses.
Yeah.
Well, now the pressure's on. Jeez, lady. Give me a minute here.
I'm
No foreplay at all. We're just going right
get
for
off
the...
running. Yeah.
Let's get into the gusto. All right. It is
petrified
Tuesday.
right out the gate.
It is May 27th. We've had a fine, extra long holiday weekend. I would hope everybody had a peaceful weekend. But right now we're feeling Minnesota, which means right now it's time for Paul Fletcher to give us some headlines.
A 23-year-old 3M research assistant invented Scotch tape 100 years ago today.
Nice.
A breakthrough
Right
that
on.
helped get the St. Paul company into millions of households, obviously. Richard Drew, get this, he was a banjo player turned engineer. Created the tape, and an intern, by the way. Quite a stretch.
That.
Yeah, he created the tape when he was trying to make an adhesive for auto painters to use on two-tone jobs. Then, May 27th, 1930, the company got a patent for Scotch tape. Handheld dispensers came along in 1939, and as they say, the rest is history. Happy 100th Scotch tape.
Yes, congratulations.
Christmas presents,
Scotch
to say the
tape,
least.
or as I call it, my fidget spinner.
Yeah, right.
Got a big fingertip thing with Scotch tape that if you never worked with me, you don't know what I'm talking about.
I go through a roll of Scotch tape every Christmas because I'm terrible at wrapping gifts.
Sure.
It's awful. Hey, this is crazy. There have been 15 Windows versions released over the last 3 decades.
Okay.
But even today, some of the oldest systems, such as XP 2000 and even MS-DOS, are still keeping elevators moving, trains running, and even government systems functioning. Well, that makes sense because they're going to, government buildings are historic for being out of date.
All of which is better than if you understood how air traffic control towers operate. The less you know, the better.
At institutions like hospitals and museums, there's not a lot of urgency to update operating systems, both because it would be expensive and because it's always money, and because there's a chance the entire system would come tumbling down. You know what? When I first got an iPhone, it was the most intuitive device I'd ever had in my hand. I mean, granted, it was a massive leap. But I mean, even just texting, the letters, I don't know if you knew this, but it would predict, even back in the early days of the iPhone, it would predict what you were going to say. Yeah. And what I read was, let's say you're typing the word every, EVE, by then it knows what you're typing. It would make the space around that letter bigger. So the R would become bigger, theoretically, as you're typing.
Right.
And they're just getting dumber and dumber. I think that software almost becomes more convoluted, and sometimes you're better off just running the old system.
Yeah, as soon as the software realizes that we're not all trying to say duck,
Yeah.
it should be fine.
Yeah. My phone's figured that out.
I've hated every update to iTunes since they launched it. It was perfect from day one. They should have just left music alone on there. I hate predictive text.
I can't stand it. I've turned it off as much as I possibly can. Anyway. Some very important services are still relying on technology that's 20 to 30 years old, which is the story there. There was a really big race at Indianapolis over the weekend.
Right.
Somebody drink some milk?
The inaugural Weenie 500. At Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's in the books. All 6 Wienermobiles in the Oscar Mayer fleet were in the race. I can't believe it, but I caught a clip of this. The Sonoran Dog overheated and had to drop out. The Slaw Dog Wienermobile passed the Chai Dog to take the checkered flag by a quote-unquote bun length. The Weenie 500 Cup trophy was presented, and it was filled with hot dogs and buns. So congratulations to the Slaw Dog on the inaugural Wienermobile 500.
Way better, way happier news than the fact that the guy who came in second at the Indy 500 was penalized and dropped to 31st.
What? No.
Oh, yeah. Had some gear on his car that was not approved. They found out. Comes in second, and then by the way, charged him $100,000, and he actually now he's in 31st place. His teammates in 32nd.
So they fined him $100,000. Plus, there's probably the money he lost dropping second to 31st.
My God. Find a team. It's not technically him.
Right.
It's his team. But yes,
still.
Yes, he went from second to 31st. Cheaters!
Not a fun day.
Yeah,
Aren't you really cheating yourselves? It's a good old lesson.
Alex Palou won it, right?
If you say so.
Sure. I'm pretty sure he did.
I was excited to see someone got busted for doing something cool.
I like auto racing. A I'd never heard this before in Minnesota. A boa constrictor was hit by a car and killed in Big Lake. Quote, we don't run into too many boa constrictors here in Minnesota, so this was the first for Big Lake Police Department. A post from the department stated Sunday afternoon. Obviously, it must have escaped from a family home, hopefully anyway. Unfortunately, it was hit by a car and did not survive. They say the snake was about 6 to 7 feet long, which I guess is pretty typical for an adult boa.
You mean fortunately it was hit by a car and killed?
Well,
Not unfortunately.
Well, yeah, I'm quoting them. Yeah.
This is an invasive species that has no right to be here. I also would run into a boa constrictor if given the opportunity.
Yes.
Well, they did say, hopefully anyway, that it escaped from a family. Hopefully it wasn't just out hanging out on its own. Hopefully it was, I mean, it's
a long way from Florida or Central America or wherever the frick they're from.
If you have a boa constrictor, you should also have with it a bomb shelter, and that's where it should live. Underground with 6 inches at least of lead in between your cement walls.
Yes, keep your snakes concealed.
I can't argue with any of that. Hey, you remember the Louisiana jailbreak from a little over a week ago?
Oh, yeah.
3 more of the 10 inmates who escaped from a New Orleans jail have been rearrested in Louisiana and Texas after more than a week on the run. 2 inmates are still at large. The men escaped by yanking open a faulty cell door, we found out, squeezing through a hole behind a toilet and scaling a barbed wire fence. Authorities have pointed to security lapses in the jail and have made several arrests related to the escape. In fact, 12 people have been accused of assisting.
12.
That's unreal.
Damn.
So 10 escaped, 12 apparently involved. I mean, it was a full-blown, a quarter of the jail was involved.
I can
apparently.
see that meeting the night before, 22 guys in a room. All right, we're all a team. We're all going to do this, right? Now 12 guys like, man, they set us up. I put my hands together, and he put his foot in there, and I lifted him up, and then he didn't turn around and pull me up behind him. That's how that works.
I'll just remember my old friend, Andy Dufresne.
Man.
That's not... We need Frank Caliendo.
That movie was based in Maine.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was just...
Was that your Maine accent?
No, that was my Morgan Freeman.
Oh. Wow. Jeez.
Hey, it's Tuesday. It's early. I
didn't know we were getting surrealistic painting impressions going this early in the morning.
It could have been anybody, really. Billy Joel's wife thanked fans yesterday for their outpouring of support following the disclosure of a brain condition impacting the musician's hearing, vision, and balance. The 76-year-old was recently diagnosed with normal pressure hydrocephalus, a disorder, causing cerebrospinal fluid to build up around the brain, impacting its function. The condition becomes more common with age, but is still incredibly rare. It can be caused by a variety of factors, including a brain tumor, head injury, or infection. Billy Joel will undergo physical therapy to treat the condition, which is reversible. So there's positivity at the end of this. He's canceling everything through July of 2026.
Whew.
Yeah.
Bunch of stadium shows, man. Jeez.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got to take care of himself.
He does.
Yeah.
No,
Can't be
I'm
walking
saying
around with that thing.
That's absolutely. Get well, Piani man.
Yes.
A Michigan father and son say they think they saw the legendary Bigfoot.
Okay.
The two were out bow fishing on May 18th. The father said that his dog started running after the creature, which was up on 2 legs, was as big as a bear, and kind of looked like a gorilla. He said the whole encounter happened so fast he didn't have time to take a picture. His dog did eventually come back. Right. This was all based on the extensive interview conducted by a group called the Bigfoot Research Organization, who claimed to be, quote, the only scientific research organization exploring the Bigfoot mystery. And they said after this extensive interview that they found the man and boy very credible.
Uh-huh.
Do you want more
can't
from the
legally charge someone with being an idiot.
Do you want more from the BFRO investigator?
Always.
Quote, I asked many questions about what they saw and what the animal did. I asked enough to discern that it was not a bear. It was a large, dark, furred primate that ran up a slope on 2 legs looking like a gorilla from behind. Yes, that would be a Bigfoot.
Here's my question. Guys, can I see your smartphones? No? Don't have them?
Oh,
you left them in the car? Okay, cool.
The whole ordeal reportedly took 10 seconds, and so he didn't have time to get his phone out.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Every time a comet streaks across the sky, we see it. They're moving faster than Bigfoot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. All right, let's get to it.
You can't resist a good Bigfoot story, though.
I
It's
know.
the best.
I love the fact that the Sasquatch legend continues.
Oh, yeah.
I just love how serious the investigation was. Like, he asked all kinds of questions to discern, and just boom, no other choice but to determine it was a Bigfoot.
Must have been.
Are we getting the good news or the bad news first?
Let's start in the bummer department.
Okay.
The Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves 128-126 last night. Here is the miracle of this game.
Okay.
Oklahoma City had 24 second chance points on over 20 offensive rebounds. We had 22 turnovers, and somehow we're in this game.
Wow.
Our two best players sucked. Julius Randle, one shot all game. Ant-Man took 2 shots in the first half total. He shot the ball twice before the half.
Julius Randle had 1 shot?
All game.
How is that possible?
Absolutely insane. Randall and Edwards combined for 21, whereas Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams combined for 74 points. It's a miracle this game was close. The game 3 Saturday, a bit of an anomaly, if you will. It was over 2 minutes in. The Thunder just saw the writing on the wall and went, let's just chill, we're good. And then last night they came back and played like the Thunder. I mean, it is a tremendous effort last night for the Wolves, for everybody but Ant-Man and Randall.
Yeah.
And especially Nickeil Alexander-Walker had an amazing game. He's turning into a great player. DiVincenzo finally finds a shot.
Yeah.
Our bench looked great. But when the two main dudes go out there and lay an egg at home, it's kind of reprehensible. Again, Ant-Man he's 23. And I will always say, until someone's 25, I give them a wide berth to have games like that in the playoffs. But it's still really disheartening.
Yeah, but there's bad. Like, that's non-existent. You know what I mean? And Julius Randle had 1 shot. This is basketball.
Randall's been terrible this whole series. This is like New York Knicks playoff Randall all of a sudden. Like, oh, crap. This is what he did for the Knicks all those years.
Wow.
Ant-Man he did other things well. He was making smart choices.
Okay.
A lot of great setups, and he's passing out of double teams, blah, 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 blah. But the point is, it's still basketball, and every now and again, you have to just say, screw it, I'm taking over, and I'm going to dominate. And it wasn't until the third quarter that he got that message. A real letdown. Game 5 is tomorrow night in Oklahoma City, and boy, not feeling good about it. That's just me.
Are you even going to bother to watch?
I will watch.
Okay.
I will watch until I realize that it's over.
Okay.
I won't watch the end. And I'll always hopeful. Love to see him get back here for Game 6. Because if they do, then anything's possible. But, baby. The Twins yesterday lost to the Rays 7-2. That's the first time the Twins have lost consecutive games since May 2nd. So it's good baseball.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
They are still 5 games over 500, 29-24.
Okay.
But 3 or fewer runs in 4 of their past 5 games after a big bunch of offense for a while. So time to get it back together. Tampa tonight, first pitch 6:05. Tomorrow 12:10. Let's end on a high note.
Yeah.
How about the Minnesota Frost, back-to-back champions of the PWHL? Yet again, of course, in overtime. Liz Sheppers.
Yes.
With 12 at 12 minutes into overtime with this one.
Minnesota working in the zone. In front, a chance here. Philip Sheppers. He scored! Minnesota Frost, back-to-back Calder Cup champions.
I mean, you have no idea what happened there, but you hear the horn, you hear the scream, and you hear the
You hear
crowd.
the
It's pretty
excitement,
exciting. And
yeah.
Paul Fletcher, you were there.
I was. Holy smokes, man. That is, I'm telling you right now, we had discussions. There were PWHL people in town as well, obviously, because it's kind of a big moment, and they were up where we are with game ops, etc. And we just said, this is as good a crowd and fanhood, if you will, as any sport in the world.
Yeah.
I don't care what league, what sport you're talking, they're just unbelievable. They're so passionate. And
Right.
over 11,000 last night. And I just got goosebumps when you replayed that goal. It was unbelievable.
Fantastic. Congratulations to the Frost. Nice work. This league doesn't know any other champion but the Minnesota Frost.
They should just rename the cup already.
We're like the Celtics in the 60s. It's like unfair. It's like the Frost Invitational Tournament at this point.
It's like I said last week. If you want wah-wah, cheer for the men in this town. If you want winners, cheer for the women.
Egan, glad to see you with us this morning. Egan, Minnesota. Thinking of you. I bet there's a few Frost fans down in Egan.
Probably a
celebrating.
few. Some Viking fans, too. You got the Vikings HQ down there in Egan.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
The new Winter Park, if you will.
I imagine that's very true. All right, well, if you can hear my voice on the radio, not online, if you're listening on the radio right now, then you probably had a good night's sleep. Probably did.
Sure.
And I'll tell you why. Because we just do that here in the Twin Cities. My God, we're good sleepers.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's that practicality. It's that good old-fashioned horse sense we carry around. We get to bed early. We get up early. We feel good about it. At least that's according to the Centers for Disease Control. The CDC has looked into the sleep habits of people in 100 major American cities.
Okay.
A large research team using data from, all kinds of questions. I mean, did you see the Bigfoot? Where was he? I mean, they ask all sorts of things.
Yes.
And they came up with the 10 most sleep-deprived cities as well as the 10 least sleep-deprived cities. The good news is Minneapolis number 1 for least sleep-deprived.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
I think it's because we start drinking at like 2.
Yes.
It's the afternoon.
Pass out by.
Yeah. You get down early.
That recreational marijuana too really helps me take a nap.
Big time.
So it's not the more sleep deprived cities aren't necessarily having more fun. We just start earlier.
Yeah, I think that's
what you're
might
contending.
That might be what it is.
Okay.
No, I don't think the sleep deprived cities are having fun at all because. By the way, Minneapolis, the least sleep deprived major city in America. St. Paul, number 6 on that list.
Wow.
So I mean, it's both.
Yeah.
We're all getting it done and getting it done early and getting down.
So it's
Some
early
of us
for
are
us.
getting it done better than St. Paul. So
That's
there
right.
you go.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it's early partying, maybe combined with some sensible people.
I think
as well. A little bit of both.
I think it's, as I said, I think it's just a hearty dose of good old-fashioned Nordic horse sense. The most sleep-deprived cities in America, the cities where people aren't sleeping, none of these are a surprise. Norfolk, Virginia, number 1. Watch your back in Norfolk. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Head on a swivel.
What, is it close to D.C. or what's the deal with Norfolk?
No. It's not that close. It's down on the water. It's right by. Norfolk is a Navy town.
Oh.
Do I need to say anything
I
else?
hung out with some sailors back in the day. I know what the deal is.
Yeah,
I know about coming into shore.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Norfolk. That's all. Just
You said it.
Suffice it to say. The second most sleep deprived city is New Orleans.
That's not shocking at all.
No, nothing needed for that story at all. No further information
Did
required.
New York make it into the top 3? Because they are, quote, the city that never sleeps.
Right.
No. Oh,
Just
come on.
gonna say that,
They've changed that. They've totally changed. No, New York is now the city that tries real hard to get a good 6 hours. That's the new slogan.
Oh, wow.
Number three on your sleep deprived cities, Detroit, Michigan.
What?
That's right,
we're
Ryder.
so freaking excited about all the good sports that are happening in Detroit right now.
that could be it.
Even the Tigers are like winning the division.
I love how you say we.
And I've never been there.
Tigers.
Never been to Detroit in her life, and she's like walking around card-carrying Detroit fan.
Wow.
Toledo, Ohio, followed by Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow. There you go.
I grew up and have long held that the less time you spend in Ohio, the better your day is.
Yeah, I was just
this is all checking out to me. So I mean, who knows if this stuff's actually real? But I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take a win wherever I can get it. It's not gonna be the Wolves. I don't think the Twins have a World Series run on them. But best sleep in the country? Hell yeah, Minneapolis. Let's be proud.
That's a title.
Let's come together.
It's a title. We should probably plan a parade route.
Let's punch fists over all of our sleep we're getting.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
How great would it be to have a parade with like just mattresses going down, and you're invited to come take a nap, and it just would be so wonderful.
I'd like a nap in with a camping hammock. I'll go for it.
It's a point of contention in the Gorman household right now. Rosemary's like, we need a new mattress, and I'm like, oh, for God's sakes. Just go grab one. Just go pick one out. She's like, no, because I picked out the last one, and you hated it after like a month. And I'm like, okay,
man.
but it's just something about. I'm like, just go to IKEA. Just get a cheap one. It'll last just as long as a nice one.
Can we send Mr. Ryder and Rosemary together? Because we need a new mattress, and I don't want to do that shopping either.
Man, please, that'd be great. Whatever they come up with.
But is the cheap one going to be comfortable? Because it truly is one of those spots where you should spend money and invest.
I have, and it never works out. I just don't. We're just making bad choice after bad choice. There's a lot of sleeping myths. A few common ones. People, we really need to be better educated about these things. What's more important than a good night's sleep?
Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I'm going to run a few of these past you. I want to get you guys' thoughts on these. True or false? True or false?
Yeah.
It's illegal to cut that tag off the mattress.
That's
false.
true.
Or no, it's true. Yeah, it's
What
true.
if you're trying to sell it or something like that? Doesn't it need to have all the ingredients or whatever it is that's on a
No.
mattress tag?
If you are a retail seller, if
Yes.
you're
Okay.
the first person, it is true. You can't tear that tag off. Once you buy the mattress, get rid of that bad boy.
So they're not going to break into my house and put me in handcuffs?
No, they're not going to do that. You don't have to worry. It's not. It's like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. You
That's
know,
disappointing.
he meets that guy on the road.
You
the guy
wanna
says,
get-
you know
you-
those tags on the mattresses? Tore it off. That's how the guy went to jail. That's right.
You want to get arrested? Just so I'm clear, you want to get raided and arrested for tearing the mattress off, the tag off your mattress, Ryder?
What a story that would be.
Well, if
I
the
didn't
cop-
say
It'd be good for the show.
arrested. I said put in handcuffs.
It'd be good for the show.
If someone's gonna raid my home,
Yeah.
I hope that's what they're looking for. That's number one on the list.
Yeah.
Please tell me you're here about the mattress tag. I can explain.
I was just reaffirming what she said, and I mean that's a pretty. Like I said, it'd be good for the show. It'd be good content.
How about this one? You're supposed to replace your mattress every 10 years. True or false?
True.
True.
Every 7 years.
Oh,
What?
crap.
Yeah, that's 7-year itch. That's what that's all about.
Oh,
really.
is it?
Yeah,
Is that
apparently.
real?
No, that's not real.
I think we're over 10 on
Yeah.
ours. Close to it. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Rosemary and I, as I mentioned earlier, we're having the mattress talk right now, and it's been a while. And the mattress talk to me is right there with the paint talk. I'm like, just paint it. I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
Yeah.
I look in the can, and then I see it on the wall, and then I see it when it dries, and I see 3 entirely different colors. I never understand how paint works. I'm like, that looks good, and then I put it on the wall, and it never looks like what I think it's going to look like.
Right.
The colors are off, and I just years ago I punted. I said, I'm out. Just paint it. I don't care.
Do you care though? Do
No.
you care what the paint? Okay.
No,
So-
I mean, there's things I like better than others, but it's just too frustrating. I've long ago said, and as far as actually painting, don't give me a brush. Give me a roller and give me a wide swath, and I can do that. I'm good at that.
intricacies,
But
not so much. No, yeah.
I'd rather I'll cut grass for 12 hours rather than paint the trim in a bathroom.
I was going to say you'd rather watch paint dry.
Oh, man, no, I hate watching paint dry. Honest to God.
I'm kind of like you, where I don't really care. I do want to have a say though. I want to have some say in, like, I'll tell you what, I'll help you narrow it down to like 3 colors, and then from there you go with whatever you want. It's generally different shades or whatever. But
Yeah, no, my
with a
fun-
bad, I want to say.
My
You
funnel.
tell me the color you're not going to complain about, and that's the color I want it painted.
There's that.
Yeah.
There's that old-fashioned horse sense we're talking about. How about this? Is it okay to catch up on sleep over the weekend? Let's say, and we
Oh,
talk
I
about
really
sleep a lot.
hope that this is true.
We,
You and me both.
We get up early. Some nights we have good night's sleep. Some nights we have bad night's sleep. Some nights we're miserable. Sometimes we're happy. Here in the morning show. So, is it okay to just knock it all out over the weekend?
My guess is no.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So
It's-
that 23 hours I tried to
If-
get on
yeah,
Sunday, that's
yeah.
not helping me?
If
No.
possible, just get a good night's sleep every night and get up at the same time on weekends. Maintain that consistency.
Uh-oh.
I do. I wake up every Saturday and every Sunday between 3:30 and 4.
You're
that it?
insane.
Is that thanks to Chauncey, the
Yes, it
alarm
is.
dog?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because that dude doesn't know what the weekend is. And so I get up with him. I let him out. We're awake for a little while. He gets his breakfast, and then I go back to sleep on the weekends. But
So-
yeah, I do at least wake up initially.
So the 9 hours and 43 minutes I got Saturday night or Friday night. Yeah,
Strong.
that's not good, right?
Well, it's
Well, I don't think it's bad.
it's not bad. If you had done another 3 that afternoon, that might be bad.
There's no way you're getting me up before 6 on a Saturday. It's just not going to happen.
Well, borrow my dog for a minute and then get back to me.
No. You keep. Yeah, I love Chauncey, but I want my relationship to be a studio-only relationship for now.
Half of people think half of the people surveyed say they don't dream. True or false? Are there people who do not dream?
I have. It's hit or miss. Some nights, if I do, I don't remember.
This is false. You're always dreaming. You
Yes.
just don't remember them. And I will go years without remembering a dream.
That's correct.
You are not always dreaming.
Everyone's dreaming. Everyone does dream though in their
Yeah.
sleep. I would give anything to not remember my dreams. Because when I wake up, they're just all right there. It's like
there's an edible
IMAX.
for that.
It's an IMAX film in my brain that I watch all night long and really wish I didn't know what my subconscious was up to. Unfettered subconscious Steve is a scary place. That's all I'm going to say.
You know, the Google machine does say that not dreaming is a relatively common experience.
They don't remember their dreams. I'm not going with Google on this. I'm going with the mattress company.
Horse sense, right?
They say everybody dreams. I've actually read a lot about dreams over the years because I do have such vivid, bizarre dreams that every now I'm like, oh my God, what? And more often than not, you see the fact that people do dream, they just don't remember them. That's the word on the street anyway, John.
Okay.
How about work nightmares? Ever have those?
I had one a long time ago.
Work dreams / nightmares. Ryder, you opened a can of worms here. You said, I never remember my dreams, but you do remember one work nightmare.
I remember like 2 dreams. The one where I'm getting chased by the hippopotamus for no reason, and the other one is the work nightmare that happened when I was a college radio DJ. This is like, we're talking 20-some years ago and is still haunting me. But we had CD players at the time at KUOM Radio K.
Okay.
Shout out University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
And there were 3 of them. They were single trays, and there's a CD playing in one. I'm pretty sure it was a Black Sabbath one. And the time is just ticking down, and I can't get the other CD player. And there's going to be dead air. You feel me tensing up right now.
I'm waiting for a guy with a chainsaw to burst in. That's it?
No,
It was about the dead air nightmare?
Like the clock is ticking down and there's going to be dead air and I can't do anything about it. I'm just paralyzed.
I've never had a work-related nightmare about radio until, I kid you not, my wife will call in and verify last week.
Oh, yeah?
Just last week for the first time. And it wasn't like my normal dreams where I'm like, it's all like a Willy Wonka episode. It was very linear. The studio looked a lot like this one does. And I was on air and I looked down and I didn't know the score of the Wolves game. And I was looking at you, Paul Fletcher. And I was like, yeah, so they won. And I'm like trying to get you to find the score.
Right.
And you were looking at me going like, what? And
what
I'm
are you talking about?
But instead of simply saying, I don't have the score, I just hemmed and hawed for what felt like 41 minutes. And when I woke up, and I was like, oh my God, it was horrible. That was like 7 days ago. Yeah, Rosemary's like, well, you had what's going on? I was like, it was over a weekend because we were talking about it laying in bed. I was like, this was awful.
As a producer, I'm also getting real anxious about this dream.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I used to have, back in the day, that like you're talking about, where we actually had CDs and carts and whatnot. Carts are basically like a high-def 8-track that we used to play commercials back in the day. The old studios for this company, because I actually started at this company way back in the day. It was a different company, different building, all that. But the bathrooms were in the basement. And so I had to go down 2 flights of stairs to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And you're, of course, obviously, consciously or constantly, okay, I've got 4 minutes to get down there, tinkle, come back up.
Yeah.
And I would have a recurring dream where I couldn't get back up the stairs for whatever reason. Like obviously nothing rational.
Right.
Just for whatever reason, could not come back up the stairs. And so basically, I think almost every radio person had a dead air dream of some sort.
That's general. Well, I've had a million drumming dreams. I still have those. Like my anxiety dreams, because that's what I do and have done for so long. And it's all the same thing. I mean, I'm walking to the stage and I'm looking at a set list and I'm like, I don't know any of these songs. That's very common.
Oh, yeah.
The other one is I'm sitting in on a drum kit, and it's always like I get on stage to sit in for a song, and the drum kit is set up in a way that I literally cannot play it. Like I can't reach the cymbals. The stool is wobbly, and my feet fall off the pedal. And it's never at a friend's jam. It'll be quite sincerely, like crystal clear, like I'm in an arena. Like I'm sitting in with a giant band and I can't play, and they're all looking at me, and I'm like, I don't know how you're supposed to play this drum kit. Absolutely brutal.
An illustration of this would be awesome. You're on a wobbly, like somebody draws up you on a wobbly stool with the drum with cymbals like 5 feet away. You just can't reach.
I'm reaching for the right cymbal, and it's just out of reach. It's absolutely awful. A lot of people report very, very, very common work dream is sleeping with a coworker that you're not attracted to, that you haven't already acknowledged an attraction to, but you're sleeping with them all the same.
Like hate sex in your dream? I don't like this.
Well, they say it doesn't mean you're necessarily attracted to them. What sleep analysts suggest is this means there's some aspect of their personality that you wish you had, which is odd.
So you're trying to suck their soul out, or
I think
some
that's
skill of theirs.
Yeah, it's a body snatcher vibe, which is way creepier than just thinking, yeah, I'll have a toss. I mean, let's go for a ride, you and me, whatever. We got a commercial break. Let's have, I think that's a little easier to swallow.
A commercial break.
Showing up to work naked, very, very common. Can't say I've ever had that one.
What is that? Do you know what that one means?
They say it means you're worried that your boss or a coworker will find out something about you don't want them to know. Well, the list is endless.
Right. So, I mean,
come on.
So you're coming in completely exposed,
right?
Which means you think you're trying to hide something, or that you're afraid that you're hiding something, or whatever. Yeah.
Most likely.
Okay.
Finally, this is a very common one, or a fairly common one, and I'm surprised to see it. Dreaming that you killed your boss.
What?
Oh, really?
Not finally stood up and said, I don't want coffee for breakfast. I don't want sugar in my coffee or whatever.
Right.
No, they're saying, no, you dream that you killed your boss. It usually means you're frustrated because you feel they control you and you can't do anything about it. Well, again, yeah, duh. But killing the boss, that's a stretch.
If I'm a boss, I'm thinking about raises all around right now.
I would think so. Mm-hmm. Or just like you said, gummies on the half shell. just pass them out, man. Pass them out like candy.
It's crazy though of how far our mind goes in a dream. Like you're frustrated about something, so in your dream you're killing the boss. Like that's it's
the subconscious.
That's quite a jump.
John Mayer had that song, "Your Body's a Wonderland." So is your subconscious. Make no mistake about it.
It's a something.
You can find Gorman in the Morning podcast anywhere you listen, anytime you want. Sponsored by our good friends at Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies.
Gorman in the Morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the Morning is back. 92 KQRS.
The Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl's band. Apparently, I'm just going to start calling him Spalding.
Okay.
Why is that?
Spalding, the kid from Caddyshack. I want a hamburger, a cheeseburger, I want a hot dog,
okay.
I want a milkshake. No, Grandpa, I'm not playing tennis. What about my asthma? The Foo Fighters are going to play a gig in Indonesia, in Jakarta.
Okay.
Now, this is a majority Muslim country with very strict obscenity laws. Mm-hmm. Okay? So they, in their tour rider, included a provision that says, we're going to be able to swear and drink and smoke on stage or we're not coming.
Wow, we're going to bring our Western world, and you have to deal with it.
And the promoter agreed to it.
All right. Okay, well, don't the Foo Fighters have songs in their set list with swear words in them?
They do. The promoter said, as long as it doesn't touch on sensitive topics like race, religion, or Indonesian cultural values, we'll allow it.
I feel like Foos are in the clear.
This is a recipe for disaster because they're going to go on stage and the management's going to be like, okay, now remember, Dave, you can't make a joke about anything to do with the cultural values of Indonesia. He goes, no, I never would. But then it's going to get into his head. He's going to be thinking about it. And then he's just going to pull out some anecdote that he's going to read, on Twitter 5 minutes before the show. And then they're all going to jail. No, I don't know. I just think it's funny. Like, we can't show up unless we can drink and smoke and swear. It's like the band I wanted to be in when I was in 6th grade. We'll drink and we'll smoke and we'll get to cuss.
Yes.
It's just so funny.
I mean,
it's great.
Like, I feel him, though, because I frequently walk into the studio every day and I'm like, how am I going to get through 4 hours and not say any swear words? Because there's some heavy fines that go with that.
I just love the fact that, like, they're like, no, we're very serious with our obscenity laws and you can't drink in public and blah. Oh, okay, you're Foo Fighters. Come on, bring it in. It's like my sister-in-law, you're not allowed to be remarried in a Catholic church if you've been divorced, but she made a contribution to the parish, and all of a sudden she's getting married again. Hey, there's always a workaround. It's one of those things.
Ultimately, it's always about cha-ching. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you are. It's all just about the dollar.
So they're going to have to bring in the drinking and smoking.
There's no shortage of cigarettes over there. Trust me.
Oh, God.
And they have alcohol
smoking
too, but it's really the cussing. There's an anti-obscenity thing. They're really worried about the public statements of things. I think Dave going, do you guys want to bleep and rock? That's probably going to be okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
because I do want to bleeping rock, whether I'm in Indonesia or anywhere else.
And they need it.
I'm going to cuss, and I want it now.
They're just saying they want to come over there and be able to be themselves.
Who am I thinking of? Veruca Salt. That sounds like Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka. I want to cuss.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I want a pony. Hey, Dave Grohl used to date one of the girls, and it's all coming full circle.
Yes, I thought that's where you were going with that.
Louise Post and Veruca Salt, they were a hot item for a minute.
They were.
You're a rotten, mean country, Indonesia. You never give us anything we want.
Well, maybe they go into Indonesia and we never get the Foo Fighters back. Maybe they're there forever.
Oh, don't jinx it, man. I want to see some Foo Fighters again.
Here's a good line. All I've got at home is 1 pony and 2 dogs and 4 cats and 6 bunny rabbits and 2 parakeets and 3 canaries and a green parrot and turtle, and I want a squirrel. I just think it's so funny that this story gets out. God. Of all the things bands put on their rider, you hear famous stories. I just never heard one where there's like, I just need to be able to cuss, man. I just got to be able to cuss. That's fantastic. A lot of bands over the years very famously have bizarre things or copious amounts of things on their riders. I think the most famous one, well, there's a couple that come to mind. My favorite one I'm going to say is Motorhead's.
Oh, yes.
The Motorhead,
come on.
The Motorhead rider, I can't even go down the whole list. I can't even pretend to. But I'll just start with 2 extra large bottles Jack Daniels, 1 extra large bottle Jim Beam, 1 extra large bottle Quality Vodka, 5 cases, 120 cans and or bottles of non-light beer.
Non-light beer.
Bring the liquor store with them. Like, that would have saved people a lot of time.
24 cans of strong dry apple cider.
Oh.
And then it goes down with snacks and other non-alcoholic drinks and food, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And the alcohol requirements, they're like, if any of this is not met, we're walking. This has to be there every single night.
Yes, because if they didn't meet the alcohol requirements, it meant they weren't paying to any of the other specs, right?
That could be it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they just needed a drink.
They could have just called their rider rock and roll, because that's what it sounds like to me. All that booze. But, at some point when you're touring, you recognize, or somebody points out to you, like, all that stuff on the rider that you're paying for that, right? You're getting billed.
And the band's like, oh, we are? Crap. I thought that was the promoter. Yeah, the promoter's writing the check, but then it's coming out of your settlement at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I remember that conversation.
Oh, that sucks.
I remember that conversation. Somewhere in the mid-'90s, we're trying to cut back. 3rd record stiffed. Wait a minute, we have to pay for all this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are fun fun conversations.
Steve, what was a weird thing the Black Crowes put on a rider?
Well, we did we had in 1992 when the second album came out, we put an ounce of marijuana on the rider.
An ounce?
An ounce, a full ounce. And again, that was, to your point, see, our manager Pete Angelis came from the Van Halen world. They very famously would not allow, they wanted M&Ms in their dressing room. It's a very famous thing for Van Halen. They needed a bowls of M&Ms with no brown M&Ms. They said, you have to remove all the brown M&Ms. And it said, if we find a single brown M&M, we can destroy the dressing room at promoter cost. And they would do that if they found a brown M&M. But the whole point, the thinking behind that, was more than just we want an excuse to destroy a dressing room. It was if you aren't paying attention to the fine print on the rider, you're probably not paying attention to the fine print on all the real production specs for lights and sound and blah 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 blah. It was like a way to make sure somebody was on the ball.
It wasn't just about David Lee Roth putting his hole through a piece of sheetrock.
No, and David Lee Roth loves to take credit for that. The credit goes to Pete Angelis. That was his idea. He later is managing my band, and he said, let's just, we were talking about that. And somebody said, we should ask for an ounce of weed. And he goes, well, it is why not? Because they probably, in 1992, an ounce of weed was not easy to come by in most places.
Right.
But we put it in there. And the question was just, do they even respond? So we knew right away if the promoter rep would come in and go, guys, I don't have the weed. And you could tell he's sweating it. We were like, okay, you are paying attention. That's good.
Yeah.
But then there were a handful of promoter reps who did walk in with an ounce of weed. And we were always like, wow.
That's like a bonus, basically.
Very well done.
We're just checking to see if you're paying attention, but if you do come up with a weed, then it's just it's cherry on the frosting. You
know what we had that was unexpected for a lot of people? We had tube socks.
Really?
Just fresh socks. Just the things you get on the road when you're on the road for months and on.
I can imagine.
Good idea to load up on extra socks. You never know when you're going to need them.
See, I feel like today designing a rider would be super practical.
Oh, of course.
It's like,
absolutely.
what can I, like, healthy eats, healthy drinks to get me through the day with energy, etc.
Yep.
Whereas 20-something me would have been like loose, fast women and Jägermeister.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Well, the women's a bit of a tall order. I mean, that's called trafficking. But the Jägermeister, we had a lot of liquor. We had cases of Red Stripe and or Stella and Heineken and
imported stuff, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Very
big
fancy.
Years of restaurant. I did a whole tour where I was just drinking Foster's oil cans, those giant cans.
Oh, man.
It's just easier. But I had like 6 or 8 of those on the rider, and they were only for me.
Oh.
Like, don't touch the oil cans. Because it was just easier.
Why were they easier?
Well, on stage, it's like have a Jack and Coke in the afternoon, and, get your little pick me up, and then you got to slide into beer for the gig, and then it was just like I didn't want to have to keep up with 6 or 8 beers. It's just 2 or 3,
right?
Because they're giant, and they just fit in my hand well during the show. I don't know. Who knows, man? The 90s were a very, very bizarre time for a lot of us, me especially. What can I say?
Riders can get absurd.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But do you get to a point where you're the Beatles or you're Bob Dylan or whoever, where you just kind of like you've earned the right to just get away with whatever, even if it's ridiculous?
Oh, of course. Yeah. There's nothing. No, if you're on a level like that, whatever I mean, my God,
you're only rolling your eyes at the bands that aren't there, that are asking for ridiculousness, right?
But you know what? To your point now, like the last.
If you're Beatles or Bob Dylan level rider, or like, is it somebody else guessing maybe what you want?
Yeah, you're walking in ahead of the show. Paul McCartney played a gig in Memphis a few years back, and a really close friend of mine is a promoter for Live Nation, and she said that the rider she showed it to me. She was incredible. There was a specific candle that had to be lit 6 hours before he arrived in every room he might enter.
Ooh.
And there was a certain type of flooring they had to put down. So when his car pulled into the arena, he had to walk across this, like they had to go to like some flooring place and find a roller type of pad thing. And everywhere he went, it was the same floor.
Huh.
And of course, he had no idea. He was somewhere once, and he was like, this candle smells nice. And his tour manager's like, get those candles everywhere Paul goes. And then he's like, I like the way this floor feels on my feet. And they're like, get that floor everywhere Paul goes. He doesn't care.
Unreal.
He has no idea, but there's always a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
Job security.
Very much so. Keep the artist happy no matter what, even though he doesn't even know what we're doing. Hey, KQ's Karaoke Cruise is back Friday, June 20th with Paddleford Riverboats. That's at Harriet Island in St. Paul. Drinks with your friends. That's us at KQ.
And my dad's coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Right on. Karaoke and free food from Lucky's 13, sponsored by Dennis Kirk. Get your tickets right now at 92kqrs.com.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92KQRS. Streaming from 92kqrs.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92KQRS.
It is May 27th, which means it's less than a month until the KQ Karaoke Cruise. That's going down June the 20th. And we would love to give away a couple tickets.
We just announced that thing, and it's already, a little over 3 weeks away?
Yeah. Coming up, baby.
Yeah, we don't slack around here.
No, this ain't election season. We get to it.
Yeah.
Ain't no 18-month primary thing happening out there. So, June 20th, KQ Karaoke Cruise. We're going to play a game called Wisconsin, Texas, Florida, WTF. We'll play you some news stories. You will try to determine where those stories are coming from, and then, we'll just get to it. It's going to be fun.
I got real crafty this week. So.
Did you really?
I'm going to start at an 11. I'm going to take it to about a 15 real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
All right,
Buckle up.
We're going to start with a very unusual skinny dipper.
Okay.
Maybe.
Hold
on.
They're trying to get their towel.
Buckling under the pressure.
And take a look at this, an unusual swimmer doing his own thing in the You're seeing that a bear? Yes, a bear on the riding the waves. Beachgoers and evidently confused here by the sight, not running away, but looking amazed as it ran through the water on that hot sunny day. Hey, I don't blame him. It's unclear where the bear went after his dip in the water, but we hope he is drying off somewhere safe.
It was a beach day for everyone. Everyone's getting in on the action.
He was very hot. Very hot. Oh, wow. There you go. Gotta get in those bear jokes.
Gotta get in the bear jokes, man.
It's important.
Yeah.
God. Man.
Okay, so you got a bear skinny dipping and people giving 0 Fs, I think was the headline of that story.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're just hanging out with the bear.
Yeah, and then we're moving on to an arsonist with an unusual way to start fires.
Arson suspect is facing dozens of charges after admitting to setting 9 fires in Fond du Lac County starting back in September of last year.
Emily Matesic explains how authorities tracked him down.
It was late last month, after 5 suspicious fires in 24 hours, that county authorities formed a task force to investigate. According to the sheriff, as investigators collected evidence from the scenes, a citizen's tip came in, leading authorities to Michael Miller.
When we looked further at him, he had a criminal history that involved some fire-related or arson-related offenses.
As investigators interviewed Miller, he admitted to setting 9 fires between September of 2019 and this month. Authorities say Miller admitted to stealing underwear from laundromats and using it along with a child's swimsuit and rags to set the fires. It appeared he was targeting homes he believed to be vacant.
Happy to have this person off the streets.
Miller remains in the county jail on $200,000 cash bail. Reporting in Emily Matesic, Action 2 News.
Wow.
So
using the underwear.
Using underwear to burn down vacant buildings. What? It's like just likes to watch stuff burn and smell like poop, apparently. I don't know.
Nobody said dirty underwear. They were from the laundromat.
Yeah. I saw a pair of Fruit of the Looms and a Michael Jordan beach towel go up in flames once. It was carefully constructed, trying to keep a muffler in place on the bottom of an AMC Gremlin. True story.
That's better use of underwear.
Yeah, it really was a better use.
And then this last one, he may be the most annoying neighbor on the planet. He is just gold here.
It's a junkyard.
County officials said the owner, Alan Davis, had been piling junk in his yard in violation of local ordinances.
But every time they keep screwing with me, I keep moving more. And there is nothing they're going to do about it.
Davis called it a political protest.
It's basically, I'm tired of the government steamrolling over people, and they can just kiss my
Back then, Davis had just a small amount of junk on his property.
You think there's a lot here now? Why don't you come back by tomorrow? Let's see what I really think of the county.
Holy cow.
At that point, Davis had not yet built this giant statue of a human rear end, which he would later load onto his truck and drive down the interstate while headed to court hearings.
The name of the sculpture is Kiss My and you can just do it.
Davis had not yet been arrested, put on trial, and sent to prison for criminal littering. County officials repeatedly told Davis to clean up the yard. His response?
Fat chance!
Oh, my God.
Instead, Davis began hauling out more junk. He obtained some of this material from his former job rebuilding vintage World War II airplanes.
Now when you do it in a big scale, it gets results.
But it wasn't the statue that concerned county officials. It was the
smokes.
overgrown weeds and other unsightly junk. County's Code Enforcement Board eventually issued Davis a $13,000 fine, with an additional fine of $250 per day until the violations were corrected. But Davis refused to pay.
They will not get a single dime.
As you probably guessed by now, Davis does not live within a homeowners association. If he did, the HOA could have potentially foreclosed on Davis's home.
Okay, and this statue, and this is like a 25-year history with this guy, and this statue is easily 10 feet tall of somebody's rear end.
Fair enough.
Chance!
Guy is an absolute fruit cup. But I will say this.
Yeah.
Homeowners associations will do that to you.
He's, like he said, he's clearly not dealing with one here.
Yeah, he's living outside the homeowners association.
This would have never gotten off the ground.
No.
Oh, okay. I misheard it.
These are just neighbors.
Okay.
These are just regular neighbors that are like, okay, enough's enough, dude.
Okay.
All right, so we got
Still a fruit cup.
Skinny Dippin' Bear with his fellow swimmers given 0 Fs. We got the underwear arsonist and the most annoying neighbor on the planet with a statue of a giant ass in his yard.
Okay, so one question of distinction. Are we doing one from each state, or it could be any?
It's a free-for-all right now.
It's a free-for-all.
All right.
It could be one for each. It could be all from one. We'll just have to find out. 651-989-ROCK is the phone number. We need somebody to call in and correctly label all three of these stories. The bear in the water, arsonist with the underwear, the giant statue of an ass. Wisconsin, Texas, Florida, in the front yard. Ken from Minneapolis is on the horn, and Ken from Minneapolis apparently has the golden ticket. He's figured it all out. Is that what you're telling me, Ryder?
Oh, yeah. Ken nailed it. So let's see how you guys do. So the bears swimming with people and people not caring at all. Wisconsin, Texas, or Florida?
The bear swimming with people not giving a rat's ass. I'm going to just say Florida. Is it too easy to say Florida?
Interesting.
They got black bears down there.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to bear country, what I feel like is mostly bear country, and people that are just kind of like floating around for no reason. Okay. Wisconsin.
Ken,
what do we got?
That's got to be Florida.
It is Florida. There's one for Steve.
Kenny, my man.
All right.
Darn it.
All right.
Somebody guessed Minnesota, and I'm like, that's not even part of
That's
the
not even
game, bro.
It's not MTF.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, the underwear arsonist. Steve, what do you think?
Underwear arsonist. Look, I haven't spent a lot of time there, but I immediately just thought Wisconsin. I'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Wisconsin as well.
All right.
Ken, what do we got?
You mentioned the county. It is Wisconsin.
I did flub on the censoring. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. That may have been something that tipped us
there's
off.
no Fond du Lac, Texas. I'm sorry to break it to everybody.
I Googled it just to make sure.
All right, Steve's still ahead. Last one.
All right.
The most annoying neighbor on the planet.
I gotta think that it's a thin line from the Lone Star to the Dirt Star. So I'm gonna say Lone Star State, Texas.
Oh, interesting. Well, then we've got a point of differentiation because that dude is such a fruit cup. He's got to be from Florida.
Ken?
Fruit Cup is from Florida.
Yes.
Oh. Man, two Floridas and a Wisconsin.
We don't have a time.
It doesn't matter. No, Ken got it.
Yeah, Ken's winning. It's just going down on the scorecard as a tie for you guys.
Ken, can I ask you, on the KQ Karaoke Cruise, which you just won tickets to, will you get the mic in hand? Will you sing a song?
Absolutely.
And Ken, will you be in the competitive room or the casual fun room?
Depends on how many Luda pills I have.
That's a good answer.
I like the answer.
Yes.
Sounds like there may be more than one appearance from Ken with a mic. We're not going to hold you to it. It's almost a month away. But right now, what song are you thinking you might lead with?
Right now, my go-to is Ballad of John and Yoko.
Wow.
All right.
Drove from Paris to the Amsterdam Hilton.
Here's the thing.
I can't wait to hear it.
Going to be my first karaoke cruise. You know what? I truly cannot wait because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to walk away from this thing or swim away, blown away by all the people, all the voices that I've heard, that I hear.
That's awesome. Ken, congratulations, brother. Can't wait to see you on that cruise.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It is Tuesday, May the 27th. Good morning. I'm feeling Minnesota, Paul Fletcher. Tell me what's happening in the world.
I liked that clap that you incorporated there. That was good. It was lively. Hey, a boa constrictor was hit by a car and killed in Big Lake. You got that right. A boa constrictor. Quote, "We don't run into too many boa constrictors here in Minnesota, so this was a first for Big Lake Police, for the Big Lake Police Department." A post they posted Sunday on their social media. Quote, "Obviously, it must have escaped from a family home, hopefully anyway, in parentheses. Unfortunately, it was hit by a car and did not survive. The snake looks to be about 6 to 7 feet long. You've got a picture of the officer. He's holding it above his head, and it's curled up on the ground. Yep. Assuming he's around 6 feet, the thing's got to be close to 6-7 feet.
Plenty big for my preferences, which is to say, I don't need, look at this. I can't even complete a sentence.
Big for me.
I don't need to see a snake. If you have a boa constrictor, great, but just put that thing in a secure environment, please.
Like the state of Florida.
The state of Florida is a great place to start.
Okay.
Or a cement box of some sort.
I hope there's not, two boa constrictors. I hope I hope there's not a pair. It just takes one boa with a bunch of eggs to get out in the wild, and then you've got an invasive species, and then we got all kinds of problems. And then I have to find a new state to live in.
That's right. Hey, a 23-year-old 3M research assistant invented Scotch tape 100 years ago today, a breakthrough that helped the St. Paul company get into millions of households.
Nice.
Richard Drew, this is crazy. Richard Drew, a banjo player turned engineer, created the tape when he was trying to make an adhesive for auto painters to use on two-tone jobs. Think about that stretch. Banjo player, engineer, creating tape for automakers, or auto painters, either way. Then, May 27th, 1930, the company got a patent for Scotch tape. Handheld dispensers came along in 1939, and so with that, we just say, happy 100th Scotch tape.
Times change. It used to be considered an affliction if you knew how to play the banjo, but now, no, we allow people to do that. Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Pretty sure they covered that in the movie Sinners. Yes, and I have to say thanks Scotch tape for just making wrapping Christmas presents possible. There have been 15 Windows versions released over the last 3 decades, but even today, some of the oldest systems, such as XP 2000 and even MS-DOS, are still keeping elevators moving, trains running, and even government systems functioning. At institutions like hospitals and museums, there's a lot of urgency to update the operating system, both because it would be, there's not a lot of urgency to update operating systems, both because it would be expensive and because there's a chance the entire system would crash. So
the elevators are still running on MS-DOS?
Theoretically, it's possible.
And you guys make fun of me for wanting to take the stairs. I mean, come on.
You make fun of me because I don't even know what MS-DOS is.
Nor should you. You don't need to. You don't need to. It's just crazy that so many important services are relying on technology that's 20 to 30 years old, but sometimes those softwares run better. So it makes sense. The inaugural Weenie 500 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway is in the books. All 6 Wienermobiles in the Oscar Mayer fleet were in the race. The Sonoran dog overheated and had to drop out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's too bad. The Slaw Dog Wienermobile passed the Chicago Dog to take the checkered flag by a bun length. Sorry. The Weenie 500 Cup trophy was presented, and it was filled with hot dogs and in buns.
The whole fleet.
It's unbelievable, right? Oh, by the way, Alex Palou won the real race. He's a 3-time champ. This is his first Indy 500 win.
Hey,
but how about the
Wienermobiles?
Wienermobiles? I actually saw the Wienermobiles for a brief second, and they were moving so slowly I couldn't sit and watch it any longer.
I'd rather watch the dog, the ballpark hot dog race. You go to the Twins, you got the brat, you got the hot dog, you got the this, the that. That's better to me.
You remember last week on Friday we had Tim in from Elko Speedway?
Yeah.
Let's get the Wienermobiles in a figure 8 race. That would be something worth watching.
Oh, man.
That'd be the fastest figure 8 race of all time.
Hot dogs and buns flying everywhere.
It'd be over before it got started.
That's what I get.
If those things are actually full of hot dogs, then I'm more interested. Yeah. If you're gonna trade paint and I get a hot dog out of the mix, I'll go watch.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are behind the 8 ball, down 3-1 now to the OKC Thunder. Last night was a chance to steal a game that they had no business winning. The OKC Thunder put on an absolute display. Over 20 offensive rebounds, almost 20 steals, and somehow the T-Wolves found themselves in a 2-point game at the end of it.
Wow.
Ant and Julius Randle, neither one of them had a great game. Ant had an okay game. Randle was abysmal. But the MVP, SGA, for the Thunder put on 40 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. It was a really bizarre game. It should have been a blowout. The Wolves managed to stay very close. Had a chance there very late, but they blew it. This would be the game, had they won, that everybody would say, oh, my God, they stole it.
Right.
It's a miracle. Sometimes miracles don't happen. They're down 3-1. They're in OKC tomorrow night, and I say it again, I cannot imagine them getting a win. Yeah,
and you know what? And there's a power to momentum in all levels of sports.
Sure.
And you come off that, anomaly or not, you blew them out on Saturday. If you could have stole this one, who knows? Now it's kind of a foreseen conclusion.
The game 3 blowout, there is no way. There is momentum in sports. There's also no way to fake desperation. So the T-Wolves came out in game 3 desperate. They knew they couldn't get on 3-0.
Right.
And there is a subconscious level of just intensity that you can't replicate when you're up 2-0. You can play hard, but that's the story there. I think this is. I say it every time. I think this is going to be over. I really hope it's not. I would love to steal game 5 and come back here somehow for game 6, but we take it a moment at a time. The Rays beat the Twins yesterday 7-2. First time the Twins have lost back-to-back games since May 2nd. They play again in Tampa tonight at 6:05. Tomorrow's a 12:10 game. The Twins still 5 games over 500. Bats have gone quiet the last few, so let's hope they wake up again. And finally, your Minnesota Frost for the second year in a row are the PWHL champions in overtime last night. Liz Sheppers with the big.
Minnesota working in the zone. In front, a chance here. Phillips at the goal. He scored! Minnesota Frost, back-to-back Calder Cup champions.
A big day at the X for Frost fans and for you, Paul Fletcher.
Yeah, it was a spine tingler to say the least. You had 4 straight in the finals. You had 4 straight overtime games, all 2-1 scores. Obviously not much separated these two teams, but it just ultimately the passion from their fans and the building was electric yesterday. And then when they hit it in overtime, man, it was. I would have liked to have gotten home a little earlier and gotten to bed a little earlier, but having the drama of overtime and then the pageantry of the post game right in our home, we missed out on that last year. Well, they didn't close it out and went to Boston last year, so they won but getting to win it at home was really cool.
Game 3 was triple overtime, was it not?
Yeah, it was almost just a couple minutes shy of 2 full games.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Crazy, yeah.
Congrats to the Frost. Very well done, ladies. Fridley, Minnesota, glad to have you with us this morning. Fridley. Friendly.
Yep.
There it is.
I've gotten into trouble in Fridley.
I don't know how long it's been since any of us have gotten the old Ouija board out. It's been a real long time for me. Quarter
than ever.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there are still people.
There's one sitting in my front living room.
A Ouija board connoisseur, a woman and her husband who are big into Ouija boards. They've been working a Ouija board for many, many years together. And in fact, since 2013, they say they've had many conversations with a demon on the Ouija board. The same demon comes to them. His name or its name is 7, as in the number 7. 7.
As in Mickey Mantle's number?
It could be.
Okay.
Could be.
As in the David Fincher film?
7 has got a few things to say about the end of the world. And this woman has finally decided to share what she says she knows after 12 years of copious note-taking from the demon named 7.
Me and my husband have essentially been talking to some thing on a Ouija board that goes by the name of 7, who has been telling us that the world is going to end May 27th, 2025.
What?
And I have
Today.
pages and pages of our correspondence with this thing. I don't know what any of this is, but it felt like the right time to share this with people. TikTok felt like the right place for it.
Yeah.
Let me know. Help me save 7.
This is crazy!
This felt like the right time? Yeah. No. The first time he mentioned it was the right time.
Yeah.
In case there's any truth to this rumor. I could have used a 12-year heads up.
Right, now we're stuck.
Yeah, I heard that. She's like, he's been saying for 12 years it's going to end on May 27th. Yeah, today. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What do you think of, if it's going to end today, can I mortgage the future? How confident are you guys that I can mortgage the future and go get that Porsche 911 that I've always wanted? Just go do it. It's going to end today, right?
So you're going to spend 4 or 5 hours at the bank doing paperwork on today, your last day on this planet.
You're right. Maybe I should just steal one.
Yeah.
Wait, if it's your last day, of course you steal one.
Yeah.
Just steal it?
Yeah, get in a Grand Theft Auto. Hell, get in an assault on the way too. Who cares? Find some terrible person, go steal their Porsche. Do everyone a favor.
If you own a Porsche, you're probably a terrible person.
Last time, wow. I love the way you're trailed off.
I'm a future terrible person. Nice.
Ryder, last time you actually spent any time with a Ouija board?
It lives in the room, but we don't use it.
Right.
Because we don't want to actually awaken the demons.
Yeah. Question, sure. If a Ouija board could actually communicate with the other side, don't you think there'd be just one or maybe at most 2 of them? And wouldn't they be in some Persian catacombs under 24-hour lock and key?
Oh, you mean
it'd be some old world. If there was an honest-to-God Ouija board that worked, I feel like there'd just be one of them. I don't think it would be
on the shelves of toy stores.
A mass-produced slab of cardboard made by machines that would hold the secret portals to the other side. That's just me.
Mattel sneaks in the real one with the 8,000 fake ones.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh. It's like the one baseball card that's actually autographed.
It's the Willy Wonka golden ticket deal.
So is it a table a table conversation piece then if you don't actually use it?
The Ouija board sitting in our living room? Yeah, I guess it's by a bunch of fossils that are legit fossils that are millions of years old.
And
some skull paraphernalia.
Who does it? Is it Milton Bradley or Parker Brothers? Who makes the Ouija board? Whichever one it is, I'm just picturing the guy, on the night shift, and he's just burning a Marlboro Red. Every few minutes, he checks the printer to make sure the artwork's lined up right. Yeah, that's a portal to the other side.
Parker Brothers, to answer your question.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hasbro.
My dad made Ouija boards, and my son will make them after me. We're in connection with spirits on the other side.
He's got one of those really small mustaches.
Sure he does.
And super round glasses, for sure.
Yeah, I believe everything the Ouija board ever told me. I was, probably 5th grade the first time someone busted out a Ouija board and tried to scare me with it, and I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm sorry. Our hands are not being guided. You're doing that, and I know you're doing it because when you stopped, I started doing it.
So here's the thing. I feel the same way you do.
Yeah.
Except they still freak me out. I don't know. There's a little monicum of belief, I guess, that I hold on to that it freaks me out.
Oh, man. Silly. That's how I see it.
Until you get sucked through the table.
It's time for the last word. In the 1760s in England, Lord Sandwich was his name.
Oh, damn.
A gentleman in London. He loved to gamble. I mean, he was really into playing his games. He was obsessed. He would refuse to leave to go eat a meal. So he ordered his food in between 2 slices of bread so he didn't have to stop his gambling, his playing of the various games, hence the word sandwich. That's where the word sandwich came from. He would say, put that roast between 2 pieces of bread so I don't have to get up and go eat it. So the next time you enjoy a sandwich, just know that you're offering a little tip of the cap to a degenerate gambler from 260 years ago.
I love Lord Sandwich.
Good. I'm a big fan of his work myself.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow on this very show, we're going to play a game that we all enjoy.
We do.
We do.
Me especially.
Do we? Beat the Jock.
Yes.
Beat the Jock is a lot of fun. Usually it ends up with me and Paul looking like a couple of dummies, but we enjoy it.
I'm fine with being the butt of the joke. I frequently am.
It just grinds my gears like no tomorrow. But we're going to be giving away KQ Karaoke Cruise tickets. Beat the Jock tomorrow. Fletcher, what's coming up next?
We're going to play a bunch of songs. We're going to play Bob Marley. That one song that Queen did with David Bowie, that's okay.
Right.
I've got KQ Karaoke Cruise passes. And as always, we'll go commercial free right around 11:45.
Nice.
Beautiful. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, we'll be back right here on Minnesota's 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.